Hello, and welcome. I am Varden Heste, and we are finally back with Katawa Shoujo. It has been some time. We started a month ago, and then I put it off because there were so many other games that I was playing at the time, and I kind of overloaded myself with too many games. We finally beat a lot of them, and we can get back to Katawa Shoujo. Back to the VNs. Let's see. I think last we left off, if I can remember correctly, is we went back to our room after we did a lot of interactions with the burned girl, which I don't remember her name. I don't remember anybody's name, for that matter. But let's go ahead and get back into it. The running girl. The sound of an alarm pulls me out of a fitful slumber and into the unpleasant state of wakefulness. Hello, Zero. So this should be fine. Did you finish Doki Doki? I did finish Doki Doki. In fact, I did it twice. The first one was my blind playthrough. And then my second playthrough was just to get the best ending possible, like the best kind of good ending. And so I did that as well. And now I'm doing this one because I heard good things about this one as well. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses as for why I already hadn't. Honestly, I hadn't mind staying here for all day. School is surprisingly exhausting after a long pause, and the culture shock has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they are going to let me get away that easily. And the nurse is bound to keep breathing down my neck with the talk of exercising as well. So eventually I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamoku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. I'd order some to cover such a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life in this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. Maybe then I can go back to something approaching a normal life, or at least something where I'm less likely to fall over dead at any minute. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one present at the track. Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled me over in the hallway yesterday is running on the track, lithily, like a half-mechanical gazelle. Oh yes, this is the girl who almost killed us last time. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. She seems to be running laps at a somewhat easy lop. Her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine, and the nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog just like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it weren't for my health and his prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. The fact that I would be less likely to encounter someone who would witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. Hello, Jum. Hello, Jum. Joggers, rise up. I haven't gone jogging in such a long time. I haven't ran in a long time. Last time I ran was, legitimately ran for, exercise was, 40. I can't even remember. That's how long ago it was. I don't really like running. But I do my weight training exercises. I just don't like doing running exercises. I should probably do it, but I don't. I leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Good morning. Your name is Isio, right? She grins and seemingly pleased that she'd remembered my name. You may not remember me. Emmy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling. Yeah, sorry about that again. Well, so long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine. Great. I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you? That's right. Oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest. What, are you saying I don't look like I could be a spy? No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid he would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you are here to do exactly that. No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looks like he's kinda lost around the track. So why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. I have a great excuse for not jogging. I had a plastic kneecap installed over 30 years ago, and it would strip out if I tried to jog on it at this point. Oh my goodness. Ooh, a plastic one. I didn't even know they did plastic. But yes, I imagine that would be painful. Training? For what? Track. Oh, I see. You're on the track team then. Emmy nods enthusiastically. Yep, I'm one of the better runners too. And modest about it too. Hey, you should join up. It's a good exercise, you know. I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. No, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know? It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning. I see. Not that into the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess you're going to run together, huh? Well, sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased. Are you going to warm up? Real men don't warm up. Oh no, you always should warm up. Bad Haisao. Try to pronounce his name correctly. She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer. I hate warming up too. She laughs suddenly. Heck, I don't even have to stretch my legs. As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple of times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic. Let's go. So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread right, and something about hitting on the balls of your feet rather than the heel. That is true, you should do that. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple of laps today, and slow to a walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running, and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Finished already? I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Well, the important thing is you started, right? Next time, you just have to try and hold out longer, and then longer and longer, and eventually you'll be great. I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to go get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcerningly. No, I've got plenty of time. I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug. Not really, but I got to finish my routine. See you later, Xiao. Yeah, see ya. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit that I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. And like Emmy said, I just need to keep at it in order to get better, right? Practice makes perfect, or something like that. It's nice at least to feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms to wash and change into my uniform, trying to resist the urge to take a really long hot shower. I'm tired from all the running, so I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyway, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere, a shadow appears within the mist, looming and radiating malicious intent. It bursts through the fog. Sup? What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean, all over the place? I want to ask if he's been looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. I finally realize I'm still naked too, and quickly hold up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad, it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? You know, your room, and yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up, though, through whatever. It's not important. Can I borrow some money? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally, like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see being naked. To say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I tried to brush the feeling off with little success. Money? Sure. Wait, you're giving him money? You barely know this guy. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Well, why are you giving him money? Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill not to run through your pockets while you were in the shower? I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. Okay, this guy is just a complete not good person. I don't like this guy at all. He wants a pat on the back for not stealing. This makes no sense. If it's the thought that counts, I should withhold payment, since his thoughts were so clearly impure, and his intentions are probably even more sinister. Since he can't tell me what they are, I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if that is your game, then fine. I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest. I get some of that pizza too, right? No. Are you serious? Yeah, I would give you some, but you have class. You don't have time to eat pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everyone will see you, and the pizza, they will ask for a slice. It's a hard world out there. Everyone wants a piece. Then you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before. That's how I know. Every day I plan my vengeance, so that's when the people who wronged me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant. Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside and buy my own pizza, it's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened the last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something standing, maybe wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky like how you split a sandwich into 2 equal pieces to make it more manageable to hold and eat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely he just didn't hear me. It was like in the openings to some kind of anime show. You know how there is always a part where the main dude is fighting his rival, and they fly at each other and clash swords, and there's like a big dramatic colored auras and zoom. It was like that, but with poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money. Please, don't leave me hanging, man. I only need like 1,000 yen. I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. Good morning, Varden. Good morning, Sanchito. It's good to have you here. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. I have always wondered how they write these types of stories. I imagine someone's going through their closet and pulling down the shoebox full of notes they passed in school over the years. Probably. Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow, a particularly disturbing fact given that his baton is conducting freely. You're not supposed to be so tight about money between brothers in arms. Man, you're not my brother. Men have it bad enough as it is. Did you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make? I mean, that makes sense. That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe I am a porn star on the side, struggling to make ends meet as I fight the feminist agenda, and you can't even spot me, your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Have you just thought that maybe you're just an a-hole? And that's why no one likes you? Have you thought that? Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? The feminist agenda stuff again. This stuff is important. I can see that you don't give a s, but this is serious. Here, feminists are a dangerous enemy. Make no mistake. You take them lightly, and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. Bam, out of nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. Oh my god, this guy. I thought you just said don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, don't take them lightly for the big things. Individually, they're not a threat, but if there was some kind of war, like a big war, with men on one side and the feminist forces on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, it's on now. Mother effers. You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarters building. Where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd have to be massive. You wouldn't hide that on Earth. Someone would notice a big fortress with women only in it. Oh, the irony. The sad part is that really does apply to several entertainment positions. Who said it was on Earth? I turned away from Kenji and started practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from the distance anyway. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to a sense or sensibility. Yeah, there is a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we will have to pick sides. We will have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it, the bloody battlefield, the vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought the cause was silly. When I grew tired of the bleakness of our fight, when I mistook the time the power went out from a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized that if I gave up, it would all be over. And I was like, whoa. And I knew I had to get serious because I am the last sane man in the insane world. It's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it's all hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. So can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked and I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money. You're such a pushover. Jesus. How can you be bullied by this guy of all people? Awesome. Thanks, dude. We can go bowling later on. Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. I don't know, that's not true. That is not true. I used to do bowling a lot, and there's plenty of women who bowl. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt with matching shoes or the pastel green with the flower accents? There are bowling clothes? Maybe. Anyway, you had better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff right? I don't have the time to ask him to elaborate what that means. I don't know. I have to get to class. You're kind of in the way. Oh, sorry, yeah, I don't want to hold you up, and I have some stuff to do myself. The time has come. The time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now that time has really come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of the way. Get out of it. I was just going to, and what does that mean? It's a big bathroom. So I have to be alone or I can't go. The pressure. Okay, what if someone else comes in? I'll think of something. I give my practiced frown and looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see. Anyway, so I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. That is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to the class. You should not have given him money. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good a reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside in the hallway, and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant, as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. She steps in on her own accord, though, after straightening her skirt and shirt collar, as if it was important to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me, she calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Hi, Sao. Good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely if I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today, by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bell rings, or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. I wouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctuality is a good thing, I think. So anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival is coming up soon. Today is the deadline for event registration. budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that is why it's so quiet today. Hi, Misha. Misha pops into the room with Shizune, as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hik-chan. Hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's or Shinsune's use of the word look. Good morning. Of course you're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realize that Lily might actually not know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn, how complicated. I decide to help Lily out for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though, as Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing we're here. You're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their projected budget reports for their events, even the first years, except you. Wahaha. There is still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today, the deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all of the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class, Bent? Handling the same manner for every class in the school, and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her lips and stands up straight. Wow, she really is getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, I sow. It's all right. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can take care of herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then, can I have it, please? Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me, students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence. Much to my surprise, she knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as a class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal, cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of those two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of. Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she is doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. Oi, oi, oi. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without even a hint of that sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear. But this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Oh, nice. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I won't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do comparing myself to you. You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent. Hello, Sky. Hello, Sky. Good to see you. There is a battle going on. The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hichan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hichan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Uh-oh. A cat fight at 9 o'clock. Hey, come on, cut me and Lily some slack. Don't drag me into this. I've done my part. Well, I'm going to side with Lily, because I kind of prefer Lily. These two kind of just seem very forceful. I'm going with Lily. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. That's right, you shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses, excuses, Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we've repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refuse to commit yourself to making the festival a success. Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if... I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Whatever, forget it. I turn my back at them. Lily, class is going to be starting soon, so we can talk more later. I'll tell Hanako you were looking for her. I can feel Shizune's freezing. Maybe this is the first time she hasn't ever been ignored in such a blunt manner. Thank you, Hisao. I'll leave you now then. She gives me the sweetest smile I've seen all week and turns on her heels to make her exit. As soon as Lily walks out the door, I suddenly start feeling reluctant about turning to face Shizune. I can feel her eyes burning into my back and can't bring myself to look at her. She must be furious. I keep expecting Misha to say something to alleviate the tension, but it really is wanting too much. Hello, ghost. Hello. In the end, I go back to my seat and listen to the sound of Shizune's footsteps as she marches out of the room. She doesn't return until a few minutes before class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my student studies at the hospital, but I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher hadn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations, taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry, but I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune's signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there is pent-up anger in there. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down whatever they're discussing. It looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down to their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use the opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing again, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're likely talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end, she starts signing without doing it either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with our strength. We should we would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, no, I think, was in governance, no nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting of them. Oh, hello. Yay, it's her. I like Hanako. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again. Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away, to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by associating her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lee been here? Sorry, I haven't seen Satao. She, came by in the morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away. She is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom, working on their festival project, but who knows where that woman is loitering at. You need to find her. She was looking for you in the morning, but I guess you have missed each other. She waits a little without answering a simple question, looking awfully like she's not sure if it's proper to answer such a question. Yeah? I can come with you. If it's okay. Hanako nods fractionally, still on guard, her shoulders stiff like wood. I get the feeling that she might be more comfortable by herself after all, but it's too late to back off now. She has this really troubled expression. She seems to wear almost constantly one that makes me constantly be on guard myself. I wonder why. I kind of understand why she always seems to be so wary, or maybe more like why there could be a person like her. But I still have no idea how I should act around such a person. It's dinner time soon. Were you planning to eat with Lily? She nods slightly. So she must have been trying to get in the cafeteria. Well, there's something of a dinner crowd, just like the cafeteria is crowded during lunch. It's not as bad because the dinner time is longer than lunch hour, but I can understand why Hanako could be discouraged from going in. I pick up my bag and we take our leave. Hanako skips a little to meet my initial pace, so I slow down to match her speed. It doesn't take long for us to be walking at a comfortable pace down the hallway. It almost feels like we're going for a stroll together, something that I can't say I've really done before with a girl. Hanako doesn't seem to be thinking the same thing though. Even though we are walking at the same pace, she never comes within arm's reach of me. I guess she's still a little uncomfortable around me, given how shy she is. There doesn't seem to be much helping it, at least for now. By the time we arrive at the cafeteria, there is not much of a crowd there, but Lily is nowhere to be seen. Hanako's head sinks even lower than usual. Have you looked somewhere else already? Just at the library I was reading. So she does spend the classes she skips at the library. Oh, so not exactly a thorough search then. Well, if I had to guess, she'd be in her own class like Shizune said, right? Right. With the slightest of nods, Hanako agrees with my reasoning. God, she's being so awkward. I mean, she's being shy, It's like I need to double layered silk gloves with padding to even begin interacting with her. I don't know, I like her. Some small talk might help her become a bit more used to me. It isn't hard to tell that the silence between us is hovering on the edge of both our minds. So you and Lily usually hang out together after class, right? Yes. I'm not quite sure what I expected from her answer, nor why I even asked the question. That much was rather obvious after all. She doesn't seem like the type to cultivate a social circle either, so I suspect that Lily may well be her only friend. Must be a pain being in different classes, I'm guessing. She gives a sharp, almost reflective nod, compared to Lily's careful thought about her actions and speech. Hanako hastens to make her answers as prompt and short as possible. Lily comes by the classroom, though, even when she's busy. She gives a small smile as she says it, evidently appreciating the fact that Lily goes out of her way to help her. It's pretty cute, really. There isn't any need to say more, both of us content that the discussions reach an end. As we ascend the stairs back to the lobby, we are met by a group of students heading downstairs like a school of fish moving from one feeding area to another. They seem to be keeping mostly to themselves, but before I can notice her doing so, Hanako has moved around behind me. Hey, are you alright? Just keep going. The students pass us without as much as a second glance, and Hanako takes up position to my side again as we enter the building, her momentary reprieve from her anxiety all but snatched away. Even as we climb towards the third floor, she doesn't seem to relax. It isn't as if I've never known a shy person before, or even shy girls, but Hanako seems to be pretty far beyond what I would call normal in her fear of other people. If it weren't for Lily acting as a mediator, I doubt Hanako would have even been able to walk beside me like this. She seems to completely shut down in the presence of others. The rest of the walk to Lily's classroom continues in strained silence while I rue her inability to socialize at all. After we make our way up the stairs, the noise coming from Lily's classroom is audible from halfway down the hallway. I wasn't expecting such a din at all. Well, I guess we found her. This wasn't hard. Did Hanako come here first, then come to me for backup, I wonder? Well, if that's true, then at least she's starting to trust me a little. That can only be a good thing. Eventually, the two of us reach the door to Class 3-2, with Hanako less than subtly positioning herself behind me. I open the door. Inside is a hive of activity, seemingly every student in the class talking at once, as they work hurriedly on their separate tasks. Going by the paint cans, decorations, and banners being made, it must be for the upcoming school festival. I guess my first priority should be finding Lily. There. Finding her among the din is surprisingly easy, not the least because of her looks. With a couple of students gathered around her, as she stands at the front of the class, she seems to be in charge of the preparations, or at least busy organizing them. One day, Jimmy John went to the... Oh my goodness. What is the story you're writing? My goodness. I see. And see. Carefully negotiating a path through the various students hunched over the floor for lack of desk space, I raise a hand entirely out of the habit as we finally reach Lily. Hi, Lily. She perks her head up as she breaks out off talking to a noticeably smaller girl who must be her classmate, trying to listen as best she can. I see. Sorry, who? Oh, sorry. Hi, so I have Hanako too. And see. shy. She's pretty skittish considering the number of people around. It isn't too hard to work out why. Lily takes a moment's pause to assess the situation before turning to the other student once again. For the moment, just ask Moria for his advice. Kenji's busy with painting one of the banners already. A quick nod and she bounces off, fingers carefully sliding along the wall's face for orientation. Wait, Kenji? That's Kenji. I quickly turn about, leaning to the side to see past Hanako. Sure enough, in a corner of the room, Kenji's hunched over a sheet of cloth as he paints it. His eyes remain only inches from the brush. Oh my, wait. Oh, hello, Droplet. Thank you for the raid. I guess I'm being, oh my goodness, I think that's is that the first raid? Like an actual raid? I'm not sure. No, maybe the second one. But oh my goodness. The raids. Welcome everyone, welcome everyone. I'm just reading some visual novels here. Hello Sky, hello everyone. You're all welcome to be here. Now Akane has raided you before. That's right, Akane raided me before. That's right, that's right. Well, reality can be harsh. Life will always put in the way of the best laid plans. It took me years to understand this saying. Work smarter, not harder. Welcome raiders, welcome raiders. Hello Ramirez, or Martinez. Hello David, hello David. Hello Drop It. It's good to see you, good to see you. And see, where was I? Hunched over. His eyes remained only inches from the brush, reminding me of how close he had to be to make out my face when I met him. I'm not late, you're early. You're right, right, Leather, I am early. Hello, Leather, it's good to see you, it's good to see you. Sorry about that. Our class doesn't have many students with even partial eyesight, so they're in high demand. That's right, Class 3-2 was specifically for students with poor vision. Preparing for the festival must be pretty audacious for them. This is now a stick-up. All give me your nuggets, Varden. No, I must have my nuggets. No, I need them. They're mine. You can't have them. Never. And I just realized this map. What is this map supposed to represent? Why is there a blue and then red in certain areas? What does this mean? Because what time in the world? Oh wait, I feel dumb. Wait, no, because this is also blue. Never mind. I was gonna say World War II, but oh, World War I maybe? No. This is now a stick up. Oh my gosh. No, can't do that. Don't take my nuggets, please. I need them. If I don't have them, I will starve. I will starve, Droplet. You can't allow this to happen. I need the foonsies. The foons. And see. That's right. Class 3-2 was specifically... Oh, I read that. Preparing for the festival must be pretty audacious for them. Need a hand? I could give you help if you need some. Maybe Hanako could too. Food mentioned. There was food mentioned. They're trying to steal my nuggets. But I want them. I needs them. No, not the chicken nuggets. Anything but the nuggies. Yes, anything. Anything but them. A chance to set her mind on something would do her good, but I doubt she has the courage to ask outright. She quickly nods in affirmation afterwards, so I'm confident I made the right move. Yeah, I know collecting the droplet tax. No, I don't believe in taxes. I don't believe in them. I don't care if they're inevitable. I don't like taxes. No, I don't want to. Lily gives a noticeable sigh of relief. Oh, that's good. This might actually get finished before everyone goes off to dinner now. Would you be able to help the person painting the main banner? It's a big task for him to do, but nobody else can help. Kenji? Sure. Can't get in trouble for taxes if you don't start paying them exactly. I remember watching Lost Paws play this forever ago. Oh, this one? Yeah, I saw that this was free on Steam, and so I got it. And I was doing Vienza a bit. I did do this a month ago. I started a month ago, and then I got overwhelmed with having too many games I need to play, so I had to put it off for a bit. But it's back. It's back. Oh yeah. Well, at least it was when I got it. It was free on Steam. You can find it there. It is free. At least last I checked. I don't know if it's still free though. She seems surprised that I know him. I can't really blame her. I take it you've met. Our rooms in the dorm are right next to each other. Hard to miss each other, really. Well, it's good to see you're getting friends so fast. Friend, I wonder if that's the right word to use for him. Hanako's silence during the proceedings remind me of the reason I put her up to the helping in the first place. We'll go help him then. He knows what needs doing, right? That's right. Just ask if you have any problems. Carousing in assent, Hanako and I begin another trek across the classroom. Kenji sits crouched on the floor, his gaze fixed on the white calico in front of him. Hey Kenji. No answer. He continues dragging his paint-soaked brush along the large, half-painted kanji that's sketched on the sheet and penciled. Seam. I wish I had a word, yet here in the US, they give us social security number. While in school, track your life from the point forward. Exactly. They track us by numbers. They tattoo it on our arms. Well, they don't do that. Huh? What? Who is it? If this is the way he treats class members, it's no small wonder he's working on this alone. It's me. Oh, I didn't get to read that. Right. I know that, man. What are you doing here, though? His dismissive attitude annoys me. I do not like this guy. He must be the type to really get focused on his work, hating to be disturbed by anyone until he's done, I suppose. While we talk, the sound of Hanako's footsteps as she walks out from behind me reminds me that she's here. I was just going to help with the banner. Hanako and I, that is... hello? Hello? Oh, hey, I guess that's okay. As soon as Hanako enters the equation, his demeanor takes a complete about-face. His sudden fox hospitality is slightly unsettling. Oh, right. Women. On second thought, this may not have been a great idea after all. Hanako, I grudgingly set ourselves down on the opposite side of the cloth banner to Kenji, noting the several small paint tins on the ground around it. Class 3-2 noodle stall. You guys selling noodles at the festival on Sunday? Yeah, some stalls outside, or something. His non-committal nature sparks a fair amount of suspicion on my behalf. The task at hand comes first, though. So how do you want to split this? We do borders while you do the text. Or do you want to switch to do the borders? Text is mine. You do borders. He has surprisingly strong feelings on the topic. As I reach over to grab a brush, I notice Hanako's already debating between colors to use. By the time I've put brush to cloth, she's already started on a delicate pattern. Looks like my idea of taking her mind off everyone rather worked. With a dark blue stroke, the three of us silently get to work. Not before Kenji takes advantage of Hanako's working to lean towards me and whisper, conspiratorially though. Okay man, why are you here? Hanako just wanted some help to find Lily, that's all. He apparently disapproves of my motivations. I get it. It looks like I misjudged you. You're infiltrating them, aren't you? Going deep undercover. I should have guessed. Letting the truth slip by him would probably be better than outright lying or annoying him in any case. Is that why you're here? Obviously. It sucks, but there's no better way to get intel than going in yourself. We gotta stick together, man. This is a harsh school, a harsh world. Yes, very harsh. He misses my true meaning, as he leans back, satisfied I'm sympathetic to the cause. I'd better get down to work. Finished. Looks like I am too. Good job. The two of us connect up the lines of our patterns, mine being as close as a copy as I could manage of hers. With a grunt, I lever myself up from the floor and look around. Aside from Hanako and myself, there's only Kenji left finishing off a sign, as well as Lily and a couple of students talking among themselves in the classroom. Looking at my watch, it's no surprise. It's getting pretty late. Need a hand? I offer a hand to Hanako, which she uses to get herself up. As she does, I can't help but glance at her wrist. If her scars extend even to there, just how much of her body was burned. I feel a pang of guilt about it, however, as she quickly covers her wrist with her other hand. Oh, looks good, doesn't it? She looks surprised for a moment before noticing that I mean the banner. It does, I guess. Her smile shows that she feels a slight sense of pride in the result, just as I do. With the floor significantly neater for the decorations being placed on desks and shelves, it's much easier to get to Lily as we cross the room. We've finished the banner. I guess that's all that needs to be done. Lily gives an apprehensive nod. Thank you, Hisao, Hanako. If there's any way I can help, thank you. It's fine. Beats sitting in my room studying at any rate. I don't mind either. She nods before suddenly remembering one last person. Oh, is Kenji still here? Just as I open my mouth, Kenji gives the answer from the other side of the room. Yeah, just finished. He carefully slides his side onto an open section of the shelf to dry, before quickly walking past us and out the door. See ya, man. Bye. The remaining two students say their goodbyes to Lily before taking their cue to leave as well, leaving only the three of us. Well, I guess that's everyone. I hope we don't have to do anything like that again. Working past school time. Indeed, the class's plans this year were ambitious, maybe too ambitious. The stalls look nice though. She's right. It shows that a lot of work's gone into them. My, sure a lot of us would have glad to hear that. At least now there's not much work to do until the festival itself. It's getting pretty late. Should we go? That's probably a good idea. Are you going back to the dorms as well, Hisao? Yeah, I guess. I'll tag along. The nighttime lighting really makes the gardens look quite different compared to the usual look of lush greenery. Things are much more calm. Being that it's so late, the lack of students around probably helps. The odd one or two can be seen scurrying to and from the dorms, trying to eke the most out of their approaching curfews, but no more. All that can be heard in our footsteps, in addition to Lily's cane regularly gently tapping the ground in front of her. It's nice to finally be able to relax a bit after the mad rush during school. Without even noticing it, I let out a small yawn. Tired? Yeah, still getting used to the flow of things, I guess. The thing with Shizune took me kind of off guard though. I grit my teeth a little at the candid mention of their rather public spat. That said, I do want to sort out what in the world was behind it. About that. I'm sorry about it being so public. Shizune and I go back some ways. Her voice seems slightly irritated as she remembers Shizune obviously unwilling to discuss it any further. I glance at Hanako for her views on this, but her expression is so unsurprisingly evasive and difficult to read. Either way, I guess her apologizing for it is something, even if my curiosity goes unanswered. I'll be glad once the festival is over, in any case. The chance of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. The change of topics welcome, clearing the thickening air quickly. I can imagine my old school's festivals were a lot more low-key than this. Yamaku stresses the idea of school community, so the staff likes to make our festivals and such special occasions. And yet the students are the ones who do the work. What an unfair world. Hanako and Lily both chuckle in agreement, savoring the fact that none of the staff are around to hear our grumbling. I suppose coming from a strict all-girls school helped me a bit with the Yamaku. Compared to there, Yamaku is much more relaxed. That'd go away towards explaining her well-bred speech and behavior in any case. As we come up to the dormitories, it eventually comes time to leave for our respective rooms. See you, Lily, Hanako. The two both give polite nods before setting off to the women's dorms, just next to the guys. As is to be expected of such arrangement, there's a staff member casually patrolling around outside to prevent any nighttime shenanigans. Walking past him, I quickly stretch my arms and rub my neck, both quite sore after having worked on the floor for so long before walking to my room. It feels good to actually have direction, though. After so long in the hospital, the everyday facts of studying, homework, and teachers seem almost a blessing. I guess if things continue like this, my time at Yamaku might turn out okay. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Nice. Always keep your word. Always. Do 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 do. Waking up the next day. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can't manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten that she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on, then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. I found myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work through things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. Round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Go for it. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead, and then I just die from a heart attack? I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm gonna I'm out of shape. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're going to play the things, I increase my pace as well. I can feel my lungs burning. My legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind, because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly, just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she... It's like a string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and her eyes widen. Hisao. She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? Nothing, just... Keep your breathing steady. Calm down, don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing. No, something happened there. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird, even to myself. Oddly, even, and a matter of fact, it makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed about my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own, without being a bother to anyone else. I can understand that. While I'm wishing for things, I would rather not have the condition in the first place. Nurse. Emily crashes into his office without knocking, but doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine, anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. Hisao, what brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing at his chest, and I thought, oh, it went away. Easy there, Emmy. Calm down. Hisao, what happened? I don't know, we were running, and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Hisao. I was being careful, come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? That is... I was racing Emily. Emily, is that true? Emily fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it out loud, and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs at his forehead with one hand tirely. Emily, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart, and getting him to erase you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? You were just running and Emily started to pull away, so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Hisao. I'm about to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to kneel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know, nothing much, tired, but it might be just from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest. We'll see how you feel after that. I am not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emily comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said, though the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Hello there, Varden. Hello, Zora. Hello, Zora. Look, I'm really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again, with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really good. I start with a, you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. We? Yep, the weather's nice now, and so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know? I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great. See you there. Can I be here? I'm not really having a good day right now. You can be here. If you wish. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty, and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. And now I gotta go eat. I will be back. Enjoy the meal. Eating is always nice. Makes me want to eat now. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on the computer. In my own heavy breathing, it's steady. Damn it, even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal. Even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex, to push away, to keep it inside. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emily to see it. Stupid. I have to be more careful, or I will end up in the hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. And I fell asleep for how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes again, the unflirted light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully I don't look too weird. Fake it until you make it, exactly. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation, the nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, Isao. Oh, fine. Climb down from the bed then, and let's see how you are doing. Don't. I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzyingly when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there, I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption on my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're all right. It stopped spinning? Yeah. Good. And how are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, Hisao. I swallowed the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, told you so or something, but he doesn't. I can try and help you to keep your health, but ultimately, the last call lies with you. Hopefully, this little episode will be something you'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering, and then make my leave as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear you. There's some way to get to the school building, straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. I stop at the stairs in the auxiliary building deliberately for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. The halls are quiet at the courtyard, was naturally, so since everyone is in class, I knock softly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Mitao calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Mitao seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me, but now takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. If you see a 1x1 Lego brick rolling around the caso, he annoys me because he screams when I play my guitar. I see. He lifts the eyebrows and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Mitao finishes the lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. Oh, sometimes it skips a dialogue. The reminder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Mitao deliberates for a moment. But since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally, I'd join the flow and grab a lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Eventually, the torrent subsides, and I step tentatively out into the hallway, only to be met by Emily, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, hi, Hisao. Great timing. I have super extra lunch today, as promised. Let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. Emily shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emily flinches back and almost falling back down the stairs. Eek. Hello. Yippies. You scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emily looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emily. She's that friend of yours. Oh, she's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds of drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emily. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, until Emily lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does that mean and I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other side of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges. Perhaps it's an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. You know, that's something I never understood. Why do they do the whole pebble thing on roofs? Is that like... is there a reason for that? I never understood that. There might be a reason. Let's see, what reason could it be? Maybe it's to make the roof not slippery when it rains. That's the only thing I could think of, you know? I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store and nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feels strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyles of life metropolises seem so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I hadn't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my face. The sun shines from a perfectly clear, cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emily settles on a bench with Rin in tow, and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on an already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's a pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us sit on it. Impressive view? Emily suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to the sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Being normal is overrated. Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted by my thoughts, by the sight of Emily tearing into their lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emily looks up, mouth full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite, which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Oh, never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How do you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emily answer the question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other. Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emily giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it? So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emily seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly bitter and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm going to just stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emily finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Oh, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that, sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by her flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people that think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emily grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service, I don't know. And he looks offended, trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess, Rin and I just keep eating lunch all alone. I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy-eyed dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emily frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Will Hanako be there? Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident that the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Oh, sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. Me in school eating with the girls, wondering why this is not the most popular spot in lunchroom for all guys. I know, especially Roof. Like, Roof would be the most popular space. No, that's fine. It happens. A lot. I'm used to it by now. I mean, we didn't really have a roof at my school. It was kind of like an open high school. It wasn't like a building, you know. So it wasn't, you know, that cool. I've always wanted to be in one of those like single large building kind of schools, but I never got that. It was just a bunch of smaller buildings. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako had been last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Cali or Southwest? California. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time, and get back to finding reading material. No, intrude. I know she's, very shy, but I want to talk to her more. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, into my room to read the books I borrowed. There has been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into the crippled Wonderland. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It is like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it had since that time in the forest with Iwanko. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. That's pretty good. 200 pages in a night? It's definitely possible. It's just, I usually don't read that much in a day. Or do I? I mean, it depends on the book. If you're like really like engrossed in it, then I could probably read a lot. At least 4 or 5 chapters. If I'm really engrossed. I certainly could read a book in a week, but definitely not 200 pages in a day. The students roll into the class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Mitao lurches into the class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrolls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in this class is going to call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into positions and get to work, not wanting to break the trend. I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats beside me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nikai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Mitao approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Mitao stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Oh, so it's about that. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It'd be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. All right, I get it, I'm sorry. Mitao closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if it is some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. This is like his 4th day or something like that. Mutao appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Mutao taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Oh, right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the lame person, but any one of them could be key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Mutao's serious talk is over. He's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Mutao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant I consider my replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back to the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped at the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Mutao does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Mutao and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties into a blink as everyone rushes into their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend, with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business. I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. I have a 55-inch TV for playing games as my eyes are so bad that this was my answer for not being able to read the game text. LOL. It works so I don't complain. Yeah, the that would be pretty rough. Sadly, this when I try to start this game, for some reason it's so the OBS does not like to actually like capture it. I have to be really finicky about trying to get the OBS to work, but it works eventually, as we can see. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an impressive silence falls upon the classroom. Come on, talk to her. Talk to her. Yeah, this is the girl I want to get closer to. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I'm about to finish a paragraph. The sounds of my irritated sigh and subsequent fuddling around for a sharpener feels like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako. Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. Oh, they leave me. They don't like me anymore. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. Oh. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye, out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though. Her slender friend reaches into her bag, pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, this isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader. They get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her books and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished, and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms filled with students practically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'm doing. I'll drop off my books at the dorms first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji is in his room. No, not that guy. Anybody but him. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emily. Yeah, I prefer her coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, Isao. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she is examining me. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. Then you can help me and Rin with the festival preparations, eh? I'm not sure if I would be of much help. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Emily grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school, quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. The stairs slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the third floor to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So is Rin working on that mural still? That's right. She needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that. Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emily skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny, crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of a previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unassorted crayons. The smells of paints, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emily studies our notes, comparing them to markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emily gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, puffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second. She can see them and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You are not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging humph, turns her back to me. So I begin scourging around the top shelf for paint while below. Emily crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little, after double-checking to ensure she can't see me do it so. Emily having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on a desk like a treasure hunter's spoils, do I realize that it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something, like jump. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger and quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rin is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault though. She should have started earlier. Is she going to make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in the fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as at my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do. with them working as a single entity, sometimes it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Hello, welcome back, Leather. Even though they're so different, just like Emily and Rin are. I got pulled away to work. Nice. Or maybe not nice. Who knows? And Rin is the most different of them all. Different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to the word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emily giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. Second one. I was gone for an hour. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. All that time. The second one. Oh my goodness. Work at home or just a lot of free time at the office. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of pink, red, pink, and orange. Weird, imaginary things populating the spaces between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on nondescript nice. Me too. I do that a lot too. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy, as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs which sport a drying spectrum of warp paintings similar to those on Emily's face. Emily sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back. That was fast. Did you run into the quarters again? Hisao helped me. Emily points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emily's fingers with her eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me in movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Hisao. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. Work around the house, cause my family does so much. Only cooks and cleans the house here and there. Well, I do the rest. I see. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress looking good as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep, mysterious law of the universe. Unless they are blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There is a boy. At the art club, you see, blind boy, so he doesn't see. He should become an artist. No bad luck, guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as much. Not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize, but can't remember the name of it. Emily arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emily, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She is staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with the Prussian blue paint in it. Geez, Rin, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. It's, like the uniform. There was a, their uniform had a specific blue. It's Prussian blue. Or what Prussia even is. It's the, pretty much is the predecessor to the German Empire. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. My English sucks. Only things. The one things I don't do, don't do are putting their clothing away. I only cooked once or twice on my own, and it took an hour, for I was unsure of my abilities to cook since I never cook at sea. While none of the blues looks more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. We need to go get more then. I open my mouth to say that. Actually, we're not both needed for such a simple task, like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emily's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are evenly leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe... Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Rin is, Emily's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? Emily's giving me an appraising look as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face. You're not out of breath, are you? There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everybody can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? See, I'm tired of myself, so these days most things I have to do are around the house. The rest of the time it's spending watching what I want and playing games. Good times. It does sound like good times. Emily frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape. Not that I hadn't already decided to try that for that. That's what she said. I'm mature, I promise. Oh my goodness. After the translation, I am very immature. After that flutter on the track, I figure there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emily come to some sort of a decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out, in fact. She produces a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. I take the sheet of paper and give it a once over. Times, dates, and laps all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to, my God, does she expect me running marathons? And where did she find the time to get this all together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you, to make sure you'd exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy. maybe Kenji's onto something here. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Remind me to never be friend Emni. I don't know, I think Emni would be a good friend to have. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My god, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding. My asthma will hate her. What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. That is true. That's true. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right? I see. And this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll be keeping an eye on you, just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao. And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. But I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan. Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emni Libaraski pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Emni begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. While I get that running is hard, have you ever considered strength training as an alternative? I do strength training myself. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled, right? You're going to be my running partner. Follow the workout. And the dietary plan. Dietary plan? Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're going to get in shape, you know. I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here. Oh right, I forgot to give it out to you. Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? After the festival. Right after? What if I've had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know? I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for Rin, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. By the time we get the paint, and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Emily and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin'll find it, whenever she comes back anyway. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, this week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. I signed up for weightlifting, and my school put me in the gym and Lifetime Fitness for reasons unknown. I see. Awakened. The next day I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low quality food. Maybe it's because I'm basically a ghost. A ghost. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider these as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to. Today's out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with no girls allowed. And with the girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clinking of at least 10 locks being pulled again back. The door opens a crack. About as white as Cardigan's model. Who is it? We're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. Was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? What? But what is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh, that's today? Oh, dang. Oh, dang it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn. And I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. I really don't like this guy. I really don't like him. Sorry, I thought you knew. So I guess you're not going to do anything today. The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me alive out there, I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face, relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder, I'm kinda hungry, but I made this deal that I try to take better care of myself, be healthier, you know? Don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or head straight in. Deal. Sounds ominous. So what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess. It's not that kind of deal. You know, Emily from our year, we kinda agreed to watch each other's backs and the shrill scream and expression of the abject terror in Kenji's face chill my blood. It's as if I told a Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil. Her, you sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What the hell's wrong with you, man? Do you know what you are dealing with? She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully placed flying tacticals? She's one of them, a key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted in your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. I don't even like you. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival is too. It's just one of their ploys. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he is trying to start a fire, and slowly begins to calm down once the panic attacks finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so that I don't have to experience the horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak. I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. It's kind of unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? Why would you listen to Kenji, out of all people? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. No? Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short too. I could have it finished in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that it would probably be a better idea to head outside. Yeah, he really is. See the festival. Try to integrate with all the other stuff. The sideshows acts. Yeah, because I don't like him. He's just like super selfish. Like, it's basically you help him, but he doesn't do anything for you. You know, kind of deal. I just don't like the guy at all. He's just an a-hole in the worst possible ways. Oh yeah. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up the somewhat friendly personality I've had the past week. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could at least grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm soon outside, surrounded by the various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot, the ones who can't stop staring, and behind their eyes you can tell they're thinking, now what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them, but at the same time, can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? A wave of something like disgust sweeps over me, guilt for my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burn my guts like a wildfire. It gives the same energy as someone who would say they are mentally disabled to get away with something because they don't have control, nor do they know better. I hate that. I hate that. There's people who do that all the time, trying to get basically people who never accept responsibility for anything, and I hate that. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land, where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having break or lunch? Breakfast? You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch, honest. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast. What happened to it being your lunch? That's whatever, it's my food. Emily places her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me. Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Isao. What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get is in response is a roll of the eyes. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede it. I'm not that bad of a... It's not that bad of a heart. I'll admit that I do like this girl. She's actually concerned about me. And sometimes it's all it takes. Certainly, it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure. And it handled a little running just fine too. It's honestly a shame that people like that exist. Oh, a lot of people like that exist. They don't accept responsibility for literally anything. Emily seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. A devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you'd been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know? Then we have Emily, being the complete opposite. I know, I really like her. For me, it's between, I guess it's gonna be between her and the Hanako. I think those are the two I like the most so far. For example, I almost died, and there was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know? A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods as if something important has just been decided. So it's settled then. You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you'd already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy after all, and here I am ordering something grossly unhealthy. The sad part is that the older kind people get, the more jaded at life. They become like myself. Yeah, it sucks. That is true too. You do become more jaded as you get older. I am also very jaded sometimes. Woody. But I do try to maintain some positive thoughts. I do try. I can be pessimistic at times. Especially when my internet was doing bad. I was very, very pessimistic. Jaded as in more down with people's BS. Or done with it. Yeah, that's basically right. More done. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? Like staying alive. If Emily weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. A sudden question springs to mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Emily shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? Yeah, you did try to kill me twice. Good old twice. I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Tomorrow morning, then. I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar, and in a second I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emmy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company. Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking some of that fried crap, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, that would have been a really good idea. I was not. Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. The glare continues. Hey, let me nearly kill you twice and repay you by being your running buddy. Hey, it's not a bad way. She also got me lunch. Okay, a lot. Let's see, she can make food really well. She cares about your health, you know. You know what? She's kind of a really good option, I'm not gonna lie. She cares about me. She can make food, you know. She's always, you know, she wants to be my friend when I have none. It's great. Jesus, I'm in danger to myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing, and I need to be healthier, and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. She is true wife. She is. Friend right now. She's a friend for now, but she does have a, wife material. She is definitely wife material. I knew it. You can't be trusted. Although admittedly, I do want to go for Hanako though. But I'm not gonna lie, she's also a good option. Now I definitely have to stick with you. This whole situation feels silly. Because all the other girls, I feel like I feel like this is the only girl who actually wants me to be around her. Like the other ones were like, you were there by coincidence, or you were there to kind of help them to do something. But once you finished helping them, they kind of went off to do their thing. So far, she's kind of the only one who genuinely wants to hang out. I can only imagine what passerbys think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? I've tried to be friends with girls, and it has never worked out. For one reason or another, one side always ends up with feelings for the other. That is pretty rough. I don't think I've had that problem with being friends with girls. It's honestly, most of my friends are girls, now I think about it. You help your friend and they phase out of your life until they need you again. Oh my goodness. No. Emily thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess, I'm slightly curious as to how her mural turned out myself. So again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Emily races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. Oh wow, it's much more paint. Most of my friends are guys. It happens. My heart shouldn't beat pounding after just that. I take a few deep breaths, willing myself to calm down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wish I had lost a hand or something. At least then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead I don't even look sick. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Emily looks back and notices my state of distress. You're not going to die on me, are you? Please don't. Oh yeah, so far she's the only one who knows my condition. I mean, aside from the staff know, but out of the students, she's the only one who knows. It'll be all right. It'll be all my fault, and I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Be mentally disabled, dude. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it's my fault. Hello, Kaiju, good to see you. We finally returned to this game. It's been a month since I last played this. How's it going? It's going well. So far, this girl has actually been growing on me. Because out of all the characters so far, she's the only one who cares about you, who actually wants to hang out with you, who, cares about your health, things like that. So she's kind of growing on me, I'm not gonna lie. Nah, I'm fine. Guess I need to start running after all. And you wanted to keep eating your greasy whatever it was. All of my friends are guys today. Life is so much more peaceful these days. I had a wife and 2 kids. I am good. Nice. Welcome in, Kaiju. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? Yes, it was. Also, she made me lunch, which was nice. Of course, that was a sorry, because she killed me. Well, she tried to kill me. By accident. Maybe. Of course, I don't add that I wouldn't be in the state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin. Oh, it's you. Hello, Emily. Hey, Rin. I brought Hisao along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how the mural turned out. Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. I find myself wondering how long Rin's been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone even stopped by to look at her? Are we the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Rin about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. It looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out. No artist likes their stuff. But I guess he'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. Oh, we get to see the actual mural. We stand in front of the mural, taking it all in. Interesting. She certainly has an art style. I see. Artist blindness is so much fun. I know, right? Oh my goodness. And it's not just like, that kind of art too. It's also for things like writing, music, all sorts of stuff. Like any creative thing, you always feel like your stuff's not good. Woody. Look at this. All of it. I do want to see the whole mural. Oh no, probably shouldn't be showing that, but it's art. It's just art. Don't worry about that. Just art. It's art, YouTube. I swear. I swear it's art. Look at this. It's tasteful. Tasteful art. Look at all that. Is that a baby hand? No, it's not. It's an actual hand. It's a real person's hand, not a baby. This is very, what's that art style called? I don't know if it's not exactly Picasso, but it gives me very Picasso vibes. You are your worst critic. You're doing great, Varden. Oh, thank you. Music deafness, where you got something good down, you're like, I don't like the way this sounds. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors soup and blend together, dragging me along with them. There's a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me almost feel sleepy. I try hunting out some of the colors Emily and I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well, I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move on. Emily speaks up. Hey, Rin, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emily grins and claps her hands together. Good. Come get some food with us. Rin nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm done or gone. Somehow I don't think they'd care. Whatever they are. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. Oh, I want some. No, I better not. I'm pretty sure Emily wouldn't let me anyway. Wait, is Rin blind or something? I don't understand the last chapter. No, Rin is just missing her arms. She's missing her arms, that's it. We find a nice spot on the grass and sit down to eat our purchases. And then Emily is missing her legs, or at least the bottom parts of her legs. Well, my purchases, anyway. Somehow I've wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence falls as Emily and I eat, and Rin stares at something or other, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Emily glances up from her food. Tired, he sounds? A little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep or anything. Tomorrow's morning. We start our morning runs, remember? Actually, that slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two has actually been fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm. You better be there. I'll get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God then. A plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. And anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine all starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. A sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with the wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again. You sure you're not just going to sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? No, I'm too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two have cleaned me out anyway. Emily giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound. Another pang of guilt. Oh, don't do it. Don't do it, man. You must stay strong. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster, because you are. How can he lie to this? Don't lie to her. All part of my master plan, he sounds. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. I hope I get a choice before I actually try to eat it, so I don't eat it at all. Thanks for the food, and for keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow, because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emmy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stands and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? That's slightly better than what I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Emmy, though. She really does seem concerned about my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. My book waits for me, and I flop onto my bed and read through the fireworks display. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emily dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Nice. Whoa, what's this? Oh, I get to see... Oh, this is pretty cool. There's me running. She's way better animated. There's animations. And I'm dead. I didn't know this game had this kind of... this animation. no. I'm starting to like Emily. Oh no. Or Emmy. Starting to like her. She is short. Form. Act 2. Oh, okay. I just started Act 2. That's the Prototype 2 series. They have much better ones today. Oh, really? Oh, nice. My alarm's beeping. Let me see. Let me go ahead and save before I... Because I got through a lot. Okay. Continue. Did I save? I did. Okay. Let's try to do one more chapter. My alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Who should I go for? It's either going to be Emmy or Hanako. Oh man, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Class is still quite far off. I will be right back. I gotta desyncify. I see. Class is still quite far off, but I agree to run with Emily in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emily yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face at the morning sunshine, caused the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy's playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. Oh, that would be rough. That'd be rough. That would be rough, buddy. That'd be rough. I feel a sense of trepidation as the tracks comes into view. There she is. You're late. It would seem that Emmy is already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We both are early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Emmy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that this was a joke or something. No, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you'd actually show up. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy was on my side at least. Emmy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe. How do I pronounce this word? Lithe? Lathe? Almost like a dancer. Lathe, maybe. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized that I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything, if you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rinses up again. I can't say I was all that active before the hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao. You've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying. It kind of hurts a little. That's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you like this. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. God bless Emmy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes no sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we better start running. We'll start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track. Got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for a gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emily sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then, huh? No, wouldn't want you to over-exert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes the statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such a terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gasps. I'm also awash in my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start our 4th lap, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go. The final lap. She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the back stretch, Emily continues running and catches up to me. Lost my calf in an explosion years ago, so I went into a year of experimental surgery in the hopes of not losing the lower leg. It paid off in the end. That's why to know... Oh, I know about prosthetics. I see. The Prototype 2 series, they have much better ones. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking about the prosthetic. I see. See. Come on, Hisao. You can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs, ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emily keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Not bad for a first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emily seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire, and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. Opens your lungs up. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though that is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. It's as if there's nothing else in the world but her on the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I got to cool down too, you know? Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hands behind her head now as well. Which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards, ever so slightly so that I can see a small strip of her belly. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So how do you feel, Hisao? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize it's true. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout the body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline. Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember it. It's a good feeling though, isn't it? Better than... Right? I open my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she's just said. Emmy washes my face for a few moments before bursting to laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? Emmy just laughs harder. She takes a hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour, and I need to shower. I should probably do the same as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emily points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat or friction or something. I see. Normally I only go after practice, but if we're going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll see him twice a day. Wait, so Emily has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time. Don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah, perfect. Did it have to be me though? Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right. I do need the exercise. Doctor's orders even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day. Come have it with us. Where? The rooftop. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emily laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, Hisao. See you. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of the cold water nearly kills me. I managed to warm the water a bit and spent some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the least bothered by the run. I suppose that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I have a excuse beyond I am out of shape if my heart were bothering me. I guess I'll have to keep the running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emily won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. The hands of the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than I anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Oh, weird. Usually, I don't get sore until, or get my, well, not necessarily sore. My legs don't get like that exhausted feeling until the day after. At least for me. That's how I've been. Maybe doing these with Emily isn't such a hot idea after all. What? You should keep doing them. Still, the run's given me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes me a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. In fact, I think I saw Emmy among the bodies in the hallway, headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door into the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face and body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down, part of me wants to be surprised that Rin's already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exacerbation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. As Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky, I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door, carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another, or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The two girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtful, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep, profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisao, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue, catches me off guard. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisao, after I went through all the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? Oh my gee, I am blind. I just realized she does not have an arm. She's actually missing 2 arms. You can't really see it from this perspective, but she's missing this arm as well. Yeah, she has no arms. Honestly, Hisao, I read that. Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I'd just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all. That's great. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes, Emmy. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force, pushing me retroactively towards my destiny. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily, otherwise I might wind up sounding like Kenji. You know, it'd be really funny if it turns out Kenji's right the whole time. If this whole game was like, yep, Kenji was actually right. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think that I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. No, you didn't. I forgot. Well, you won't forget to come though, will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, you know, unless time changes its course. It can do that? Rin gives a non-committal shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emily who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't actually think that could happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets the feeling all the time. Man, my wife used to do that to me all the time. She would be me to agree to things, but getting me to agree to other things, and she would apply that agreement to the things she wants to do. Oh, my goodness. The tactic they use. If she does, she's not showing it though. Emily merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time, it's Emily who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you, that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emily's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get a chance to see whether Rin's being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I needed to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Emily ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Hisao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I started to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely. She wanders off. She's probably used to Emily taking care of the cleanup. For some reason, I doubt Emmy's ever raised the issue with her. Cleaning up the lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss out garbage and get to class. Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Hee-chan. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh really? Are you sure you weren't participating in illicit rendezvous? What? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emmy? No less. You, Casanova, you. We just had lunch, that's all. Misha burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. You're so adorable when you blush like that, Hee-chan. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. There is no secret. Oh? Misha seems disappointed, and then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in, and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down to the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework, for a while feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see, what was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. And if I go to student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is except for... I know. Well, I suppose that's an option. The library? Library? I grab my shoes and head for the the track. Emney's probably down there. You're gonna go to the track. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here, Hisao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figure that's about right. At the moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? Nobody's cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy. That's what you thought. She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing of my presence presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pouts, widening her eyes to give the max amount of puppy-eyed resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding. So you're down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you anyway? It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emily laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose, but you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too, so really, I might take some effort to stalk. What do you two do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know. Oh, really? Like what? Emily puts her head to one side, as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emily's a girl after all. But Rin? Rin comes with you? We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes this music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps focus her. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me. Now, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know one another. Somehow I think that's all that Emmy has in a way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question's been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emily to laugh loudly. Huh, that's the understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figure you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emily seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your classes. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. I guess it is because lunch was so strange. Emily shrugs, looking for a moment, very Rinish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And? And that's why we're similar. You lost me. Amy frowns as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. So you're passionate about running and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising, I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean slow down by anything? Emilia looks surprised and points to her legs. You know, because I'm a runner, and Rin's a painter, even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think, well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along, and I think that's really all that matters. I suppose that's got a point there. Another question strikes me, and since I got nothing better to do, I ask, so what got you into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and so as soon as I would walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know? Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Did something happen between them? Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. I watch her run for a little while, and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey. She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. I can't sleep. My body's tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not as used to my new surroundings as I'd like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked it was only 1, so maybe I slept a little. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus, waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track where the first time, Emmy not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this time, I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to steam slightly. My mind calms down a little. Dude, someone's shaking me. Hey, wake up. Huh? Where? What? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You're going to catch a cold or something. I rub my eyes and confronted by Emily, who bends over me with a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out in a mumble. I couldn't sleep. Watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Rin would say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on the bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So couldn't sleep, huh? Obviously we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body was plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind was just racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing the first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Now come on, Hisao. We've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know, should I really be running? Glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers for heaven's sake. The best way to get that soreness out of them is to run around a little. Now stop hiding in the bleachers. Get down here. There's no arguing that. Pretty sure she'd kill me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Emmy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed not to stare. If this is how I have to wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. You know, Hisao, it's not polite to stare. I wasn't staring, I swear. Emmy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles, laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. So that's enough stretching, right? Emmy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. Well, I do feel up to run, if that's what she means. Yeah, I feel ready to go too. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going full really fast. Just worry about keeping the pace. Got it? You're the boss. Emily grins again, and we take off around the track. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. I think I'm going to die. We're not even done with the first lap and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps, and I can feel sweat pouring down my brow. We're only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Hisao. You've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow, we're on the second lap. Emily's not even sweating. How can she do this so effortlessly? For some reason, she's still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Hisao. Liar. We've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emily whirls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you'll have already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Whoa, language. We're out on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs move, move, move. They feel so sluggish. I'm in the mud, or molasses, or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, he's out. Give it all you've got. I pump my legs as fast as they go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Hisao. I knew you had it in you. The anger Emily showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since. Oh god. Please slow down, heart. Just slow down. Stop racing. I cough, and for some reason, I feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Not the worst way to go. Trying to stay healthy. How ironic. I'm all ready to give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emily standing over me with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet. Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but they feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emily keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emily laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure. I don't really have the breath to say so. But that small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly kneel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help watching Emmy sprint. It's weird, but she's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim. She's fighting a losing battle, but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, her lips slightly parted, she looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Hisao. There's almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that. I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Something I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emmy sticks her tongue out at me. Edie, I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. But it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and then the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, eh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know? A thought strikes Emmy and her face lights up. Got it? Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness, but you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I have no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know? There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I could hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is a sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly it seems that he notices me. Oh, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well, Hisao officially joined me on my morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of my job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, will you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. A bit shy, aren't we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy. I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't seem to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an a-hole. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Hisao? I begin to stammer that it's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out of the door, and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it, huh? I don't follow. He laughs again like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going on for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. Or that sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't going to say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in so that you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired on the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? We had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded. He shuts up abruptly. Oh, her dad died. And blink at receiving the unexpected piece of news. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know that it's not a big deal. I do have a couple of games like this. The ones I like the most are the Argonrest War games. They are a dating sim and a RPG RTS game that is actually pretty hard to beat. Hello, the things I enjoy. Nice, interesting. I do need to find more visual novel games. I think there's one after this one I'm gonna try. I think it's like AI something. I gotta look at it. It's like a detective game. I guess he's really worried about Arida. Don't worry, sir. I promise I'm going to be discreet. I've been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could happen, but actually hearing about the facts is still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, Hisao. I can see why Emmy became friends with you. She's quite indomitable, you know? What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd probably have done it faster if not for the fact that we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for it so long that her legs would start bleeding where they met her prosthetics. It's a real concern. It's why she comes by every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough of that about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. He really should have heated it up or something before he used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, Isao. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath though, and my heart was racing by the end too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but then shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out of the doorway to call in Emmy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. What? Come on. What have I told you about seducing my friends? I had expected Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and the Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting into laughter again. Told you he was funny, didn't I? I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point. It looks like I've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time. I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as a nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. Oh. Is her legs getting cut up? I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours, and class hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a really, really long day. I hope I don't fall asleep in class. Maybe I should save here before I continue. Oh, perfect, perfect. I was wondering when the next, the end of the chapter was. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Hooty. Save. Hooty hooty. And this is where we'll end for today. That chapter went a lot longer than normal, but I think it's because I got past Act 1. That's probably why. They probably go a bit longer. But that was good. I'm starting to really like Emmy. She seems, I don't know, just thinking about her, she's always concerned about you. I'm starting to like her. I mean, the only reason I liked Hanako is because she's well designed, and I find her very attractive. But Emmy, I like Emmy too. I do like her. I like her personality. But thank you all for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I do like this already. I do like this. I wonder if there was a choice I could have made, like, because I was thinking that if I didn't choose to run harder as I did, instead, just keep it easy, I wonder if I would have had a different scenario happen. So I wonder if I kind of locked myself into this route, but I'm not sure how that works. So we'll see. Maybe the next chapter will be something else. But yes, thank you all for watching. And I hope you guys all have a great, great day. See you all laters. Goodbye.